The outcome data tool that we use is the Global Assessment of Functioning, which is a generally recognized tool in psychiatry to measure progress in treatment. We ask each of our therapists and each of our psychiatrists to record that number at the end of every session. The number can be somewhat subjective, but as long as the number is being provided by the same provider, we have a good measure of progress in treatment. And we use it to see whether or not treatment is being effective for that client. Because mental illness is cyclical, people will tend to get better, but they then might get worse just because of the nature of their illness. But this gives us a way to track progress to see if perhaps they need to be referred to a different therapist. Are there other services in the community we might need to refer them to so that they can optimize their progress toward recovery?
Right. And measured outcome data is critical to our success. It's something that I look at daily. I think to look at your measured outcomes, what is it we really want to accomplish? And I think a lot of days we forget. You get so focused on the day-to-day and doing things your clients need that if you don't have your outcomes in front of you, you tend to drift off to a side. Or a term I recently heard was scope creep, that you start trying to do so much for your clients you can't make it work. And so to keep those measures in front of you, to keep you focused on what are the critical things we need to do to make our clients successful, and then to use them daily. And if you aren't getting those outcomes, then why? We did some redesign on Virginia Cares this year based on the fact we weren't having employability at the rate we wanted in high-paying jobs. And so we've retooled, refocused, and really strengthened our job training piece for Virginia Cares so that we can get those better jobs for our clients.
So within the program, we look at our outcome data basically at the end of the school year as we're planning the next school year, and we're looking at our partnerships and where we want to share that data. And we will use that as far as adjusting the curriculum and where we see there needs to be more of an emphasis on violence prevention or substance use prevention, because we use the self-reporting that they do and the surveys that we administer, pre and post surveys, and then we also get attendance records, and we will also see how they're doing in their academics as far as the pre and post year that they had the program, and just where we're seeing an improvement and where we're not, so that we can make adjustments, and certainly where we can focus the quality of our programming and even service learning activities.
Basically, we review it regularly. We are looking constantly, are we meeting it? Are we on target for where we're supposed to be? Are we doing what needs to be done to meet the goals that we said that we would meet? We are looking at the feedback that was given to us by United Way, and we're taking that and putting it into action. And if there is any type of setback that we may see, we take corrective action to get it back on target so that we can meet the goal by the end of the year.
We're very outcome driven at the Trust House. I think it's really important. My previous work environment was a very outcome driven environment, and it really helped me understand why data is so important. We use the Blue Ridge Community Assistance Network database, which is a database for homeless programs, to coordinate with other programs, and then also to track our outcomes. So our biggest outcome is that we want people to move into permanent housing, of course. They're homeless, and when they come to us, we want them to leave with a home. So I think it's really important to track what we're doing and our success rate. What's the percentage of people we're getting into permanent housing? If it's below what we want it to be, why is that the case? So I think really when we look at data, we discuss how the data tells a story and what story does it tell. And it can be good for fundraising too, because when you go to maybe individual donors or a grant source and you're able to say, you know, well over 2/3 of our people move into permanent housing, our method works. You know, our investment in our case management and our life skills and our program as a whole works. People move into permanent housing. It's better for them, better for the community. And then also there have been times when we haven't met our outcomes. But that's a really good chance to look at what's not working. And we've changed some of the things that we've done that haven't been working in the past because of data. So I think that's a really positive thing. We've shortened our stays. We really believe in best practices at the Trust House. There's a lot of research to indicate that for homeless people it's not beneficial to stay in shelter for very long. It kind of used to be our thought that people needed to be in transitional shelter for a long time and get everything worked out before they moved into permanent housing, and research is indicating that that's not the case. So we have taken best practice and then also some of our data and said, hey, we need to shorten our length of stay. We really need to be focused on housing from the very beginning and getting people supports within the community. So it just helps us get better. It helps us tell our story really well.
So to measure our progress, each of our 4 action teams areas have specific goals that they're working on within those that all sort of feed into our big goal of school readiness. And so we look at, like within the educator workshops, we really look at our people learning at those workshops. Is their knowledge improving on these Virginia milestones of early childhood development? So we measure pre and post results from our workshops. Our star-rated programs, we measure pre and post results so that we can actually see if the mentoring we're providing makes a difference. In our parent education, we measure the effectiveness of those parent classes. Are the parents feeling more confident and more able to work with their children when they leave? And so again, a lot of pre and post type measurements. In marketing and some of our other public engagement pieces, we're tracking usage of things like social media, attendance at events, the number of people that sort of find out about us, and even just tracking things like our coalition members and whether they come to our meetings, whether they're engaged in the meetings, and getting feedback from the members on whether they think we're making an impact. So we have quite a big range of smaller output type things that lead into our bigger outcomes and give us a big picture of that. And we look at all those monthly, and we look at them sort of within each category and then as an entire group. And are they really things that are going to lead to school readiness improvement, or are they just sort of nice things? And that's where we've sort of gotten better at weeding out the things that didn't make as big of an impact and really focusing on the things that do really impact school readiness. The last thing too that I should probably mention is right now school readiness is measured with a tool called PALS. And that's for 5-year-olds when they enter kindergarten. So we started using, there's a 4-year-old tool called PALS Pre-K, and so we use that with the 4-year-olds at our star-rated sites so that we can start gaining a better idea of how these children are doing a year before they take the school readiness assessment. And because the assessments align exactly, we know we can trust that data better than coming up with our own tool.
Hello, I'm Diane Kelly, Executive Director of Mental Health America of Roanoke Valley, and I live united.
Hello, I'm Jo Nelson, Assistant Director at TAP This Valley Works. I'm here representing Virginia Cares, and I live united.
My name is Sarah Jane Lawrence with the Teen Outreach Program at Family Service of Roanoke Valley, and I live united.
Hello, my name is Ron Jones, and I am the Program Manager for the Center for Educational Opportunity at TAP This Valley Works, and I live united.
My name is Allie Hammond Moore. I'm the Executive Director at Trust House. We're a homeless shelter for families, individuals, and veterans, and I live united.
My name is Kris Meyers. I'm Program Manager for Smart Beginnings Greater Roanoke, and I live united.